Hi guys, I'm Tom. Today I'm going to be talking about my 3 favorite dogs to work with as a professional dog trainer. I've been working professionally with dogs for over a decade on an international level, and I'm very grateful for that. And today I'm going to be talking about exactly what I already said, the 3 favorite breeds that I like to work with. And number 1 is going to be the Pitbull. Now, that's controversial. Maybe not. I don't know. A lot of people love pit bulls. Some people don't like them. They're even banned in some countries, even in some cities in the United States. And the pit bull I love, mainly because of their workability with people. The pit bull, I think this is what even gets them into problems, which is why I have no bad dogs all over me, is because the pit bull will quite literally do anything that the owner wants them to do. Again, which is why I think that they get into trouble, and which is why people use them for other really disgusting and horrendous things. They will quite literally do anything you want them to. And of course, there's genetics involved, like every other breed. Of course, like if you start breeding these really nasty dogs and you want them to become more nasty, a pit bull might be one of the best dogs to do that with because they're extremely loyal, they're extremely strong, intelligent, and they're a terrier. So the terriers, honestly, is just number 1 in my list as a dog trainer, because if you guys out there have a terrier of any degree, or you're a dog trainer on any degree, you will know that terriers will make you look really good, because terriers are amazing, flashy, drivey, motivated dogs that will quite literally work for anything from a sock to a piece of beef liver. So terriers, pit bulls in specific, are my number 1 dog for that reason. But I want to go over a little bit of history about the cute pit bull terrier. Not only were they in one of my favorite movies growing up, The Little Rascals. He's the pit bull that has like the little ring around him. His name is Petey. He's amazing. He was on the show Little Rascals 2, I believe. Now, pit bulls were originally bred to bite and hold large animals for hunting, like bears and bulls. After the Cruelty to Animals Act of 1835, they outlawed the bull and bear baiting and stopped using these dogs for such. So essentially, bulls, from my understanding, bulls and bears, they would bait them, they would come in, and the pit bull would run out and grab them and hold them down and bite them on their head and their face. Not a very pleasant thing to talk about. So after all that messy stuff in the 19th century, pit bulls were then brought to America, and now we know them as the pit bull terrier. And today they do so many different things as therapy dogs, service dogs, police dogs, search and rescue dogs. They still work catching feral pigs, doing what they were meant to do and bred to do way back in the day. They're also really great in dog sports, such as dock diving and fly ball, because they're very athletic dogs. They're like little athletic dogs. They're just really great. I really like the pit bull. But because of their ancestors and because of their body, and they literally were created to essentially fight and tear down gigantic animals, people still try to do that with them today, and it's unfortunate because it's not really the breed's fault. And it just, they get a bad rap. And the pit bulls, like some of the other breeds that we've talked about in some of these other videos, they're also very, very, very overly bred, right? So we see them a lot in inner cities. They're, I think, the number 1 breed for a long time in shelters as well, just because so many people have them and they do very irresponsible things with them. Not only dog fighting and other things, but they also, unfortunately, will not fix them, and they breed them for money. People want money, and then they dump them, and so there's tons of lineages of dogs that also don't have good genetics. But for the most part, the pit bull terrier, and it's the number 1 breed. If you were to give me like what's the best breed to train, the pit bull terrier would be number 1, because they are the most loyal, hardworking, loving dogs. They lick you to death. So that's why the pit bull terrier is the number 1 breed that I like to train. Now, the number 2 breed is going to be something you might have guessed. Let's do a little drum roll. It's going to be the Labrador Retriever. I love these dogs, much like the reasons why I like the pit bulls, because they will quite literally do anything and break down a door or a wall to get to you to do what you want them to do. They are literally a servant to humans. They're the most unselfish, selfless dogs that I've ever worked with in my entire life, and I would say that they're tied with Pitbull and Lab together because the breeding protocols for Labs and the history of the Lab is much better than the Pitbull. So the Lab was obviously bred for work and for hunting back in the day, and still is used predominantly in bird retrieval and waterfowl hunting, which is really, really fun. I've actually done that myself with some golden retrievers, which is, kind of like a Lab in similar cases of the breeding protocols and also the history of them and the work that they do, and of course the popularity here in the United States. But the Lab I particularly like better, and that's why they are number 2. Labrador is the most popular breed in the UK, and they are the most popular breed in the United States for assistance dogs. So that's going to be things like service dogs and therapy dogs and dogs of work. But most importantly, their number 1 job here in the States and in Australia is seeing eye dogs for the blind. So chances are, if there is a dog out there that is guiding somebody who is blind or in a seeing eye blind dog school, they're going to be a Lab, 70% chance. So that's a huge amount of dogs working, and that isn't by chance. The Labrador Retriever is the perfect dog for that job because they are loyal, they are intelligent, they have a great temperament with literally everybody, and they want to please you, and they will do everything they can to protect you and guide you. So yes, they're intelligent, they're loyal, they're great with kids, they love to work, they want to go hunting with you, they want to cuddle on the couch with you, they want to throw a tennis ball with you. They are literally the most well-rounded dogs that I have ever worked with, which is why we were going to get one right before I decided to get a Borbal, which my wife will argue with you, which is probably one of the worst mistakes in my life, but he's coming around. He's coming around, and I always tell her, just think, if somebody tries to break into our house late at night, or if I'm traveling and somebody comes by, they're going to be terrified and run the other way. A Lab, which is number 2 on my list of my favorite dogs to work with, is likely to let them in and have a tea party with them. So, it's kind of balanced. But Labs can be certainly protective. I've seen my fair share amount of protective Labs, which is why they're the most well-rounded, most popular dog in the entire world, and it falls in number 2 in my breed list of dogs that I really like to work with. So here's a fun fact about the Labs before we get into number 3. There's 4 colorations you will typically find out there, but there's only technically and supposed to be 3 colors. So we have the chocolate Lab, we have the black Lab, the yellow Lab, and the controversial Silver Lab. So the Silver Lab, from my experience and my conversation on the No Bad Dogs podcast with lab breeder and field dog trainer Bob Owens out of Lone Duck Kennels, is actually a genetic deformation. And the Silver Lab doesn't really mostly look like other Labs because of that mutation. It's a deformation of other things. And so I don't know too much about it, but I do know it's a deformation and it's not supposed to be actually considered in the Lab coloration, because the Lab coloration really is chocolate, black, and yellow. All right, so number 3 on my list is going to be, we talked about this for a while, and I get this question a lot. Tom, what is your most favorite breeds? And it's always going to be the Lab and the Pitbull. But the third, I'm going to be honest with you guys, and we're going to dive a little bit into it, is going to be the mixed breed. So it's not a breed. My most loyal dog next to Lakota or before Lakota would be Lola. And she was a mixed breed that I got on a PetSmart floor one day. And as a dog trainer, which is what this video is about, is my 3 favorite breeds of dogs that I like working with. And they're gonna be mixed breeds. They're gonna be mutts. They are super dogs. They are dogs that have all these different cool things in them. Their disposition and their genetics are all gonna give them different things to do, which is why number 3 is actually not going to be a specific breed at all. It's going to be the super dog, the mixed dog, the mutt. Honestly, those are some of the best dogs. I could just remember growing up just having mutts and absolutely loving them. I mean, they're just sitting on a couch and they're just chill. And then when you get them up and you want to go running with them, they'll do that too. Some of the other dogs will do that as well. But the mixed breed doesn't give enough credit. I don't want to make this video to say go get these dogs because I think they're the best, or I would get one, because I've also had some of my favorite dogs in the whole world have been mutts. The majority of my clients are all mixed breeds. These are dogs who come from shelters, and the majority of dogs in shelters are going to be mixed breeds. These are dogs that need homes, and they're the best dogs. So honestly, a mixed breed for me is a good dog for me. I think that rhymes or something. But anyway, mixed dogs, guys, they're the best. They're the best of all the worlds, right? You have all the things going into one dog to make them the super dog. And those are the 3 dogs that I really love to work with as a professional dog trainer. If you guys, want, you can check out my brand new Nubs 100% organic, grass-fed, USA-made treats that we just came out with to train your dog. Link in the description. We got merch. Thanks for watching. We put videos out like this every week. Consider subscribing. There's a little robot there for a minute. Consider subscribing to my YouTube channel. I appreciate you guys watching. I gotta go to bed. Happy training. I'll talk to you next time. Peace.